We're back and better than ever, folks. We're back and better than ever. Okay, noise gate is working. Gain is good. Yeah. Yeah, there is a power cycle failure. There is a power failure on my USB that, you know, it happens. It's a problem with this desktop setup. We got the beefiest laptop in town, too. And yet, even then... Your mic is extra clear now. Tie wrinkle, bro. I'm gonna end it all. No, I'm good. I haven't stopped since this morning. It's been a fucking particularly eventful morning. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Hasan Piker. I didn't even do the fucking webcam mic. No, this is not the webcam mic, dumbass. This is the 4K camera microphone. I mean, webcam mic. No. It's not the webcam mic. It's not. It's the fucking SM7B. Sorry for the move to the New York. Sorry for the move to New York City chant yesterday. That's so funny. All right, bro. Ignore chat. I know. Mike is fine. Everything is fine. I'm not fine, but hopefully I will be eventually. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and MBs, we're live. We're alive. You already know what it is. I've had a fucking morning, dude. I've had a morning and a half. Okay. Where to begin? It's obviously a special day, so we have to start it in a special way because every day is a celebration, except today is an extra celebration.
It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what? It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what? It's Friday again, it's Saturday, Sunday.
Oh yeah. It's Freaky Friday, ladies and gentlemen. You already know what it is. You already know what's up. You already know what's going on. A day of autonomy, a celebration of our forefathers and the work that they put into the labor union movement, the trade unionists, the anarchists, the socialists, the communists, the radicals that fought long and hard so that we could enjoy the fruits of their labor and their hard work to make sure that we have a weekend, a sense of autonomy, a sense of purpose, a sense of humanity that we must regain. And that's why every Friday we celebrate with immaculate vibes, and I'm going to try to do my very best to maintain the immaculate vibes, folks. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because I hate troubleshooting right off the rip. You know what I mean? One of my least favorite events, least favorite activities is to troubleshoot right off the rip. And yet, had to start off with that. Had to start off with that freaking situation, you know? But this is the part of the broadcast where I tell you about my personal news, about what's going on in the world of HasanAbi Piker in between the time period where press the stop streaming button, press the start streaming button, so help me God. That's why. Didn't you go to RHPS with Will? Dude, you know we were literally an hour away by car, right? Because I was at a fucking rally in the entire other side of town. Perhaps that was the reason why I couldn't make it to Rocky Horror Picture Show, which I really wanted to go to, by the way. I did. I know people will think that I didn't want to do it, and this was an opportunity for me to get out, but I actually was looking forward to it. Blink twice if they're keeping you hostage. North Korea style in Mamdanistan. Yeah. Anyway, I came back home. Literally, I live in hotels now that I'm calling it home. It's crazy. Bernie and Zoran are copying you? Yeah, I know. It's so funny. It's all good, dude. It's all good, baby. they're following my lead, you know? In any case, we did the DSA sleigh rally. Do you see these guys? They're trying to steal the shine, dude. It's all good. It's all of our movement. You know what I mean? But in any case, folks, as far as personal news goes, I woke up this morning and I did Breakfast Club. Okay? I did the Breakfast Club interview. It's going to be out. I don't know when. But I did Breakfast Club. And then after that, I had to do another interview with a reporter, journalist who was who came with me to another interview. I did a Throwing Fits podcast appearance. Shout out to the boys. And then I had to do another interview with another media outlet, and that's the reason why I'm fucking late. Okay? That's the reason why I'm late. Deadass, the Breakfast Club? Yes, deadass. You're actually still dreaming? Yes. I'm doing so many interviews that I'm doing interviews inside of interviews, bro. It's crazy. Was Charlemagne giving you a hard time? No, not at all. Not at all. What outfit did you wear to Throwing Fits? The suit? Yeah, and they gave me mad props for the suit, for the record. The Breakfast Club interview was great. So yeah, it's official. I'm no longer a chud-ass loser. It's official, folks. No longer a chud-ass loser. For those of you who were wondering, this is the least chud-ass loser I have been. Yeah. A lot going on. You're not even late, dog. Take a few hours off. It's okay. Yeah, well, it's bedlam. It's bedlam. Anyway, so, folks. Neither here nor there. We got a lot. We got a lot going on in the world. We got a lot going on in this universe. The universe of HasanAbi is secondary to the real universe where things are happening, things are moving, events are in motion. And as always, I got a bunch of cool stuff last night. Look at this. Someone gave me PBS stickers. Piker Broadcasting Service stickers. We got a lot of DSA merch. I brought some of the DSA merch, some of the extras to Charlemagne and the team over at Breakfast Club. And unfortunately, in the process, I lost my favorite New York Democratic Socialist hat, the maroon one, the purple one, because one of the cam ops, I left that one in the room. Okay, I have an awkward story. So I brought a bag full of DSA merchandise that I wanted to give them. They didn't bite. They didn't like it all that much. Okay? Even though Charlemagne in the interview called himself a Democratic Socialist. However, what's interesting is I wore my hat, my DSA hat, and I wore my DSA hat and I left it in the green room, and the cam op was like, "Oh, I took the DSA hat for myself. Is that all right?" And I didn't have the heart to tell him, like, "Nah, that's my hat." Because I had brought a bag of DSA stuff for them. So I just let him have it. Yeah, he didn't swipe it. He thought it was like, a part of the merch that I brought to everybody, you know? I guess you call that socialism. So now, New York City DSA, y'all got to get me another new maroon hat. Anyway, that's what happened. That was a fun little story from Breakfast Club where I gave the cam op the hat because I couldn't go through the social penalty of telling him, no, this is my hat. This wasn't the merch that I was gifting people. Just spoke to New York City DSA. They said that was their last one. You're cooked, bro. Megaphonics, you're San Francisco DSA. The fuck do you know about New York City DSA? Anyway, what is this? So after watching that Harry Potter Israel video, I scrolled down and entered a whole new world.
The best feeling in the world is starting your day off by making Aliyah, becoming an Israeli. Do you believe Israel's killing children?
The leadership of that country has said as much. They are.
The Bible is.
I love Israel.
Don't leave money on the table.
Zoran Mamdani would never drink.
All right, I woke up today and I almost cried because of how much I'm missing Israel.
First things first, Charlie Kirk was worried about.
What's the biggest misconception about Israel?
That it's an apartheid state.
Bro, I didn't. That is a mythical For You page, brother. Let me just say, a lot of people who are weak in the heart, weak in the mind, and weak in the soul will look to this and say, oh, terrible. This is a brain rot central. Only the experts know that this is the holy grail of For You pages. I would build this For You page brick by motherfucking brick. I would build this algorithm every damn day. I would say M Israel. I do. I say M Israel Chai every damn day to try and reach a fraction of this kind of For You page to get a crumb of this. Okay? And I get none of it. This is incredible, man. This is the greatest fucking For You page of all time.
Been in Israel for about a week now. I still haven't gotten spit on as a Christian, unfortunately.
We're here with you.
This guy says Crusader Pilgrim. It can go in either direction. Is he like anti-Israel? Or is he sincerely hoping he gets spitted on, you know? It's like a passage. It's a rite of passage. You get spitted on by some settlers in Jerusalem, and then you're a good Christian now. You got blessed. You know, those who bless Israel get blessed. Those who curse Israel get cursed type beat. And it's like those who get spit on by the settlers of Jerusalem are blessed. Those who don't get spit on are cursed. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and MBs.
We're here with Jacob Berman. Jacob Berman's an IDF.
All right, if you are a Jewish person watching.
Damn, Unc went to New York City with all his friends and only works. I don't envy your life at all. Dog, I literally live a blessed life. Okay, I live such a blessed life, I might as well have blessed Israel. You know what I mean? Those who bless Israel get blessed type shit. Because I win the lottery every day. I don't have to fucking stream every day. I choose to. Some of you actually make me reconsider that decision. I'll be honest. Okay? I love this job. I love this fake ass job that I have. It's incredible. And I love my community, even though sometimes y'all make it hard. Y'all make it hard for me, but, you know. In any case, we got a lot going on, folks. We got to get right into it. Do we have a blast off or not? Do we have a blast off or not? I love that I said you make it hard for me. And some of you instantly went, you make it hard for me. And what you mean by that is you turned it horny for some reason. CoffeeZilla was on the Lego case, by the way. Bricks mode, bricked up. We'll obviously talk about that as well. Druku, thank you for the blast offs. Let's get ready to rumble. Oh my God, what the hell is this? Oh my God, that's incredible. That Charlie Kirk furry art is immaculate. It's exceptional. It's phenomenal. It's the greatest thing that I've ever graced my eyes. That I've ever gazed upon. Oh my God, what the fuck? Okay, thank you. We are Charlie Kirk. Holy shit. Trillionaire. Phone arrow. Well, friends later. Question mark, question mark. Get in now. We are Charlie Turk, man. We are Charlie Turk. I will be carrying the flame later. Don't worry. We always have an hour where we remind ourselves of Charlie Kirk, also known as Charlie Turk. But now is not the time. Okay, goat talk for later. Charlie made a new video on the lawsuit, and it's worse than the first one. What is the fucking... What happened? Is it because people were mad about his coverage? He attacks Mike for being a baby at Haas. I think I had a pretty even-keeled approach to Charlie's commentary on this, where I think I gave him grace. And I told him, I mean, I said in my commentary that I don't think he was equipped with all the knowledge. Because I feel like if he was, he would have a different attitude on it. And I used it as a jump-off point to talk about, you know, some of the more severe things that Ethan has done that has gone unnoticed. He should have kept his normie nose out of streamer drama business. What do you mean? This is his bread and butter. Anyway, we're blasting off. We're blasting off, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, there is an incredible work of art here. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. I mean, I can't even... I'll be honest, this might be the best work of art that I've ever fucking gazed upon. Thank you. I want to say I'm truly blessed. Okay? I'm truly fucking blessed. And the reason why I'm truly fucking blessed is because I could have been born in any other timeline, in any other alternative universe. And yet, I was born on this one where I got to look at this. Whatever the fuck this thing is. Okay? Thank you, God. Praise Jesus. What do you know about that big guy? That bitch gas. It's great. Fantastic. Love it. Can't get enough of it. I don't really care about that. I skipped the whole arc. I skipped the whole that big gas arc because I just wasn't paying close attention. It's the fucking Kool-Aid flavored pineapples, right? They dump a bunch of pineapples in a jar and then they mix it with like Kool-Aid, right? And it's just basically diabetes in a can. Yeah, I skipped that arc completely. I think it's, I mean, it's whatever, you know, it's fine. It's great. More power to the people, you know? Charlie loved these pineapples.
They do it total. The big guy.
The big guy. The big guy. I mean, this is what AI was perfected for. Low-consensually, this is the peak version of AI. Can I say something? There's something strange about generative AI that when you watch it, it doesn't make sense. With one exception, Charlie Kirk videos. I don't know what it is, but we have collectively all decided that Charlie Kirk AI, Charlie Kirk generative AI, always hits. I don't like generative AI. Not even a little bit. Okay? Not even a little bit. And yet, anything that is generative AI and Charlie Kirk hits like a fucking Mack truck, dude. I don't know why. I don't know how. Perhaps it's because the AI was trained too much on Charlie Kirk related memes. But there's two things that are taking place by my estimation. One, every time I see Charlie Kirk generative AI, I like it. It hits. That's number one. Number two, I see his face everywhere. I see his face all the time. I don't know why. I feel like, do I miss him? Was it real love, what we once had? Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. You know? But literally, there will be like a random athlete. Random athlete gets signed to, I don't know, the fucking Toronto Blue Jays or whatever, right? And I'm like, that's Charlie Kirk. Like, I see his face in the face of the athlete. And I don't know why I'm out here thinking more about my mans than Erica Kirk is. I've been carrying his fucking flame, dude. I've been carrying his damn flame nonstop. So it's not only is this like the perfect type of generative AI, but I see his face everywhere where my brain has now substituted regular faces with Kirk face. Which, by the way, I used getting Kirked on I used the term getting Kirked when I was on Breakfast Club. And I felt like they didn't like it too much. Like, I did not get the response I thought I would. Because they asked me, like, oh, are you worried about, like, political violence coming your way? And I was like, well, you mean, like, getting Kirked? Did not nail that fucking interaction. That fell flat. They're pros though. They went along with it. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? Man, it's the Breakfast Club. I thought, it's time for a little bit of jokes. Time for some jokes. You should have just transitioned to Danny Denon accent to distract. Bro, I literally deployed the Trump accent.
In your head, you can't guard me. I'm in your head, you can't guard me.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is an OG, right? This is actually just regular Wemby. Like, it's not, but I'm seeing his face everywhere I look. This is what I mean. What is real? What is fake? I don't know no more. Are you stoned right now? No. Isn't half a Breakfast Club audience Trump voters? I doubt it. Because Charlemagne is such a lib. Bro, Charlemagne told me he calls himself a democratic socialist, dude. I mean, he was a social democrat, but we talked about it a little bit. But we be covering must trillionaires, that is. Maybe. The most complex piece I've done to date, 19 hours and 40 plus layers of work for an anonymous client on Discord dedicated to Charlie, by the way. This is the greatest work of art honoring Charlie Kirk literally always comes from the people who think they're honoring Charlie Kirk, by the way. Because, like, We Are Charlie Kirk, We Carry the Flame was not made to make fun of Charlie Kirk. And this is the same. Like, this is a furry artist who is actually a fan of Charlie Kirk. I swear to fucking God, dude. I swear to God, the greatest art that is hilarious, that comes out of this movement, like all the Kirkification memes aside, the absolute bangers come from the side that thinks they're honoring this man and unintentionally create new metas. Why even do this? For what gain? Yeah, Adam doesn't understand that Charlie Kirk AI is good. It's good for the cause. It's good for the world. And certainly it's good for me. Anyway, now that I've done like 50 minutes on Charlie Kirk AI, we'll move on from that. And we'll get to some other stuff, but it will live on in my mind. I promise you. It will live on in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. It's something I think about quite a bit every day. I go to sleep thinking We Are Charlie Kirk. I wake up thinking We Are Charlie Kirk. Zohran did another ad for Daria Liza Avila Chevalier for Congress. You are mentally ill? Motherfucker, I'm ill, not sick. No, Adam Hamawi also endorsed Daria Liza. We got a nice little thing going. You see that? This is how we build. This is how we build. All right, we'll get to all that and more. But before I do that, Thank you for the playlist, Amacius. Before we do that, there's obviously bedlam in the whole MOU situation. The real will they, won't they? And this time it's peace in the Middle East and peace around the world. But of course, there's some real spoilers on the American side. But yeah, speaking of building the most socialist Congress that the United States of America has ever experienced, that initiative is still going strong. And part of that was your boy attending the New York City DSA Slate rally last night, surrounded by comrades, incredible people, door knockers, organizers, people that understand the crisis ahead of us and are taking matters in their own hands. It was probably my favorite event that I've done so far. New York City DSA uploaded my speech. Let's play a game. Who killed the most Americans? Beast mode from Kyle. I will not be saying anything else. What are they saying? They're saying, I believe that we will win. So this was my first thing. And then I introduced Claire and then Daria Lisa. And then afterwards, I delivered I did a canvas, which was a little corny, but I hope you guys liked that. American government was taking egregious actions. What atone for my crimes at Wall Street by knocking on doors for a democratic socialist.
That's
yeah. And then I did my speech here somewhere. Okay. And I think this was one of the best speeches, but I don't know. I want to hear from you guys. I'm glad that the New York City Democratic Socialists of America posted it, but let's take a look. Wow. All right. I wrote a speech. Well, I got Noah to write most of it, so shouts out to Noah. Hello, New York City DSA. Can you hear me? I pandered earlier, so I can't say Nixon 5 again. Damn. All right. Can I get a Nixon 5? Nixon 5. Nixon 5. Nixon 5. Nixon 5. Nixon 5. It was one of your most thoughtful speeches, but it wasn't as aggressive or emotionally arousing as your most fiery speeches. It wasn't arousing. There is no place I'd rather be than with all of you here tonight in New York City. Thank you so much for being here. I really mean it. And thank you to New York City DSA for giving me the opportunity to talk to all of you tonight. Okay. You guys can't say that every time. I'm here to talk about serious things, okay? Maybe I'll move to New York City, but that's not so serious. I want to talk to you about why I'd rather be here tonight more than anywhere else all around the world. And that's because here in New York City, you are on the front lines of one of the most important battles. You are, in many ways, the vanguard of a struggle that is taking place all over the country. And every one of us in here, and even all around New York and all across the United States of America, can see what's going on. Amidst the depravities of Donald Trump and worsening wars around the world, we can see that here in America, change is happening amongst the people themselves, where the people are finally taking power back from corporate entities and back from the corrupt establishment Republicans and the Democrats too. From the student movements to the door knockers to the old white suburbanites, from the disenchanted liberals who voted for Hillary Clinton, who now say Bernie was right, to the excited socialists who are always there, more and more people recognize the extraordinary times that we are living through. And they want something different. People, in other words, are demanding a politics that works for them. And we see it in all sorts of different places. We see it in the dozens of states where communities reject building. I'm here to just get banned because I hate almost every single parasocial loser around here. And on that echo chamber of the Roach King, buddy, look at this screen in front of you. There is no parity between a random dude who never leaves his house and is just like fucking rehashing white supremacist comments that he reads on fucking Twitter to, you know, what we are trying to do around these parts. No one thinks you're 200 IQ big brain for thinking that there is some kind of parity or moral equivalence between the two. Enlightened centrism might have worked in like 2016. It's 2026, it's been a decade. Enlightened centrism got us Donald Trump twice. Okay? It's time to pick a side, buddy. New data centers where you have Republicans saying they will never vote for another Republican again as long as they allow those data centers to be built in their backyards. And we saw it in Minneapolis or in the streets outside of Delaney Hall. More and more people are demanding a different politics, something not beholden to corporate or pro-Israel or imperialist interests. For the longest time, free Palestine. For the longest time, I thought we were so far away from socialism, and we might still be far away from socialism, but we do have an opportunity right here, right now, more than ever before, and we must seize that opportunity, and you all must continue your own disciplined organizing for that to happen. That is the challenge. Now, what is this organizing? It's more than just elections. It's work like organizing tenant unions. It's work like international solidarity movements, whether that's donating funds to comrades in poor countries or participating in actual solidarity missions to Palestine or to Cuba and so on. But it's also work like labor organizing or work like political education of yourselves and others. And let me tell you something from my own personal experience. If this organizing and this work was not impactful, the federal government would not be coming after people like myself. Because for years and years, I've done this advocacy on Twitch. I've gone to the protests. But never before had I ever experienced this level of federal repression. And people ask me all the time, they say, how do you feel? Are you afraid? And I say, I'm unbowed. The reason why I'm not afraid is because I'm surrounded by comrades like all of you. Because if we did not have something real here, if we did not have something that threatens the halls of power, they would not be coming after people like myself. In the words of Donald Trump, they're not coming after me. They're coming after you. I'm just standing in the way. But remember, organizing is very important. And this organizing doesn't just mean aiding and abetting your comrades. It also means something else. It's the cultivation of something shared, something special among all of us in the cause. The idea that in a world where more and more people are outraged about injustice, that it's our side that can credibly offer a path forward. That it's our side that has the answers. That it's our side that understands exactly how serious this moment is and how dire the situation is. It's our side and not our rivals for power. And what most brings us here to do this work together is a belief in the urgency and the opportunity of this moment, from Gaza to Washington to Bushwick. And we need all of the right people to seize it. This is the other part. This is the critical piece of the disciplined organizing that brings us all here together today. I believe that DSA New York Slate is a group of people so talented, so dynamic, that this group will do even more than Zoran can. I hope that although Zoran was the first in New York City, by the end of these midterms, Zoran will seem unremarkable. Because by then, we will have elected so many brilliant fighters into legislative offices throughout the New York City and the state. Claire Valdez, Daria Liza Avila Chevalier, Aber Kawas, Christian Celeste Tate, Conrad Blackburn, Ian Huntley, Diana Marino, David Orkin, Iapa Sairi Tupac, and Samantha Katan. These are your comrades. These are your fighters. And you've been out in the front lines with them at protests. You've been out in the front lines with them canvassing for other candidates. So you don't have to take my word on it. You know them better than even I do. Universal child care, Medicare for all, cutting off funds for Israeli apartheid and genocide. That's the platform. The platform and our ambitions are very clear. Take it from the New York Knicks. What's next? It's all about execution through adversity. So I must remind you, stay hungry, stay desperate, and we can win the future. Thank you. Anyway, I think it was a pretty good speech. You ought to run, bro, as Giannis told you. Yeah, he should spend all his time focusing on his own election in a single district and advancing dozens of Democratic socialists across the country. This is definitely a good idea and totally not fed up. No, not everything is a fed up. I think that it's understandable that people keep telling me I gotta run, I gotta run. But like, you know, I've made this calculation, and this is part of it. You know, big ass suit. No, it's not a big ass suit. It fits perfectly. Anyway. Yeah, getting better every day. Also, I'm too young. Guys, I'm not running for office until I'm a young 85. If you get the platform, you got to run. In any case, so that was fun. Obviously, there's some new developments as well. Zoran going hard in the paint for Dari, which is cool. It's cool to see.
Lisa, a tenant and a union member running for Congress.
Nadia and Lisa have reunited families separated by ice, and she's on the front lines of our fight for a city we can all afford. I'm proud to endorse her for Congress.
I'm Daria Lisa Avila Chevalier, and I approve this message. I'm Daria Lisa.
He's going hard in the paint. You got exposed for being a fake number.
Who do you think loves America more, Ilhan Omar or Donald Trump? Ilhan Omar, of course. It's not even a question, without doubt. Oh my God. Are you serious right now? Racist? Or are you actually, Rob, is he serious? Of course I am. I'm totally serious. We conducted a poll as a tale that asked Americans, who do they think loves this country more, Ilhan Omar or Donald Trump? And guess what? 90% of the respondents said that it was Ilhan Omar. Rob, pull up that piece that I wrote to prove my own point. Oh my God. I can't believe this. I am so glad that you're saying this in public for everybody to hear.
Stand by, and you're a racist.
Hold on. What you're saying is that you think that Ilhan Omar loves the United States more than President Trump, right? I proudly believe that, and you could clip that up and show everybody. Ilhan Omar is a bigger patriot than Donald Trump. That is just a fact. Zateo even says it. Ilhan Omar is also a nice person. If you speak to anybody who's ever worked for Donald Trump, they say he's a disgusting and vile person. You're so funny. So why do you think that Donald Trump won in such a landslide? He didn't. I know you live in a far-right algorithm, but Kamala actually won a lot more of the popular vote than people think she did. Kamala won a...
Dude, it's... His Mehdi Hassan is actually the one that I think is interesting because like I've never heard someone do a Mehdi Hassan before. His Mehdi is pretty good too. All right. Anyway. All right. Let's get into it, Let's get into it, folks. He kind of nails the Mehdi accent. Yeah, the way he does the cheeks is on point too. She Mehdi on me till Hassan. Austin is fighting for the working class, by the way. You are not.
Where's Austin?
Thank you, big boss.
Where's Austin?
Oh, he's going to fucking ride that forever, dude. He's going to ride that wave permanently till the end of motherfucking time. God damn it. God damn it, dude. What the hell are we doing? Are you going to talk about your biggest op not being the first trillionaire? Okay, dude. Fucking Elon Musk day today. Of course, Magaphonics wants it. Most of these were, Jeff Colton says AOC did a voter's guide, but snubbed 2 DSA candidates in the voter's guide. Most of these were announced already, but worth noting that AOC did not back. DSA endorsed Samantha Catan and Tupac. Likely out of deference to their opponents, Pia Roman and Jasmine Sanchez, both of whom have worked for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. But there is that. Also, speaking of which, they want to be like me so bad. Can I just say, Bernie, Zohran, not everyone can be the big dog. Not everyone can be the big dog. Okay? That's all I'm saying. I know you guys are like, oh yeah, we're doing democratic socialism. We're advancing the cause. It's like, oh, whoa, look at that. Hassan's doing a DSA slay rally. I guess we should do a DSA slay rally. It's like, listen. Little bro, I'm proud of you guys. Okay, I'm proud of you guys. Just saying. Paving the way, HasanAbi, someone has to be the first. Yeah. No, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Stole my whole flow. Word for word, bar for bar. You didn't create this, little bro? Man, it's a fucking joke, dude. I'm fucking joking. I wonder if you'll ever do an event with Bernie. I know you've interviewed him at his events, but it would be interesting to see you both in the same lineup. Clearly, you're joking when you talk shit about Zoran, but there are definitely leftists. Wait, talking shit about Zoran? Literally, I qualify that I love Zoran every time I talk about him. What do you mean? Yeah, you think I'm actually shitting on Bernie and Zoran? Like I invented this? You think that's a sincere take that I have? Jesus Christ, dude. How do I have to qualify everything? That's crazy. This is literally a joke-free zone. I swear to God. I swear to freaking God, dude. Holy moly. Holy Toledo. Or now, with the Barry Weiss editorial decision, holy Tel Aviv. Do I have to say fucking end joke after every joke? God damn. Legalize comedy. And as far as the statement about Zoran at the DSA slay rally, what I'm saying is it rings true. When I say my hope, my goal for a better future is to make Zoran seem unremarkable in comparison, it means that, what do you think? It's the other side of let 1,000 Zorans bloom. That's the other side of that story. When you got 1,000 Zorans running in every fucking race, all of a sudden, people are expecting that. That's not a joke. That's not a joke at all. That's a promise. That's my goal. That's my hope. What you think the people elected Zoran so that he would be a good mayor? I mean, that's a given, right? That's the bare minimum. Zoran is supposed to be a representative of a broader movement, and he is. And he understands that. He understands the role he plays here. Him being a good mayor is a part of that, right? The goal here is to associate good governance with democratic socialism. After many years of viewership, I've come to realize, like Twitter or X, we are nothing without our liberal woke skulls to punch at. This broadcast has some of the most fun and funny moments while also having a never-ending stream of actually Andes. And something about that mix makes for a more beautiful democratic discourse. Anyway, play more Kirk AI clips. How come AOC hasn't endorsed the New York City DSA slate? AOC doesn't endorse against incumbent candidates in the House, which I think she should, and I think everyone should. But that's just like the common meta. Democrats that are already in elected office rarely ever endorse against incumbents in the House. They'll endorse against Senate seats and vice versa. Like senators will do that against representatives. She was literally that in 2018. No, I know. Trust me, I know. I think she should. It's not unique to AOC, though, is what I'm saying. This is just like common practice because they're a part of the political machine. I think that there will be a lot more bandwidth for more bold decisions like that in the future, though, if our numbers grow, right? If there's a real political force that is a threat to the establishment machine and can provide, defense when necessary, for example, and has some level of leverage internally within the party, and then you'll see more bold decisions. Outside of that, though, there was a nice little cross promo. You guys didn't notice that, like, there are certain races that Zoran didn't want to disrupt that AOC endorsed in, and then certain races that AOC didn't want to offend the sensibilities of certain key allies that she has worked with, where Zoran endorsed. Figure it out, dude. Figure it out. Like, a lack of endorsement of this sort doesn't imply anything. Read between the fucking lines for once. It's funny because our enemies are. Right? I think there are a lot of things shadows choose not to notice when it comes to AOC and Zoran. Lamau, true. Israel made a power play today that literally was designed just for me, for the record. Okay. I need you to understand something. We did not know who this fucking guy was that well until recently. A British pedophilia enjoyer by the name of Trevor Phillips, who you might recall from his disastrous hit job against Zach Polanski, has now been hired by ZBS News, the most trusted news resource in Tel Aviv. Barry Weiss has done it again. Incredibly dynamic, unbelievably Islamophobic, Jeffrey Epstein affiliate defender till his last breath, basically. Close associate of Mendelsohn, and active defender of Mendelsohn, even to this day. Here he is in all of his glory. Barry Weiss has decided to welcome to the team Trevor Phillips. Absolutely despicable. Trevor Phillips GTA reference. Yes, Barry Weiss follows me. Anyway, let's get to some other news now. Now that we covered the Bernie headlining a rally with Zohran Kwame Mamdani for his congressional slate, Claire for New York, Daria Lisa, Claire Valdez, and Bradley Lander. While we go back to the Strait of Hormuz, Reuters UAE just sent $3 billion to Iran. It might be real for this time. We shall see. Okay. CNN had a montage of the 39 times the war ended. Oh my God. Beast mode, beast mode, beast mode, beast mode. ZNN, before CNN turns into ZNN, here are the last gasps of some of the producers at CNN making an impact before Barry Weiss hits it like a fucking Zionist meteor, okay? Let's start there, actually. Here's Donald Trump, and the 39 times he said he's close to a deal with Iran. Over the course of the 105 days that Epstein's Fury, Operation Epstein's Fury, has unfolded, bringing about death and destruction to Iran, death and destruction to American assets, including American troops, and a complete destabilization of the energy markets around the globe, Donald Trump has tirelessly advocated working round the clock for a ceasefire, and yet has never been able to achieve it, even though he has seemingly achieved it 39 times. Let's take a look.
Major points of agreement. They want to make a deal. And we are very willing to make a deal. Well, I think we're going to end it. I can't tell you for sure when they want to make a deal so badly. You have no idea how badly they want to make a deal. They want to make a deal so badly. I do see a deal.
They do it.
We were very close to a deal. I think it's close to over, yeah. I mean, I view it as very close to over. It's looking very good that we're going to make a deal with Iran, and it's going to be a good deal. This process should go very quickly. We're going to end that war very quickly. They want to make a deal so badly. We think we're close to a deal, and that's okay. We're in the final throes of what will be a very, very good deal.
Today makes 39 times that he has said something like that.
We have major points of agreement. They want to make a deal, and we are very willing to make a deal. Well, I think we're going to end it.
Excuse me. That's called the art of the deal, you silly goose. You simply don't have the mental fortitude to understand when a real deal maker comes around and decides to wheel and fucking deal. The real deal is the lack of a deal all along. The real deal making is when there is no deal that's imminent and you just keep saying it over and over again. That, my friends, is the art of the deal. Yeah. You simply lack the mental fortitude to comprehend the 15-dimensional chess that's at play here. Oh, Trump has fallen asleep again during an Oval Office event with fishermen. Guess what? Also a part of the deal-making process. Okay? Yeah, you don't get it. You don't understand. You don't get it. Also, another part, a pivotal part of deal-making is when you show people that you are the alpha dog, okay? Alpha dogs sleep wherever they must. Alpha dogs sleep in the middle of the Oval Office. I take back what I said. It's not 15-dimensional chess. It's 1,500-dimensional chess. He's showing the rest of the world that he is unafraid. Surrounded by enemies, he can still fall asleep like that. You might think it's narcolepsy. You might think it's dementia. You might think it's his age, but it's none of those things. Well, it might be all of those things. But what it is Donald Trump showing everyone that's watching he does not care. He is so powerful. After all, 39 separate instances of wheeling and dealing. You'd fall asleep too. That's right. You'd fall asleep too. You'd take a tactical nap. Who amongst us hasn't thought about taking a tactical nap at their place of work when shit gets boring? You know who gets to do that? Big dick bandits.
All right, we just want to bring you up to speed with some breaking news that we are just getting in now. So Pakistan's Prime Minister, Shehbaz Sharif, on Friday, that's today, said that a final agreed text of a peace deal between the United States and Iran has now been reached, and that Islamabad is working with both sides to finalize the next step. Obviously, this comes as there is a lot of back and forth between the United States and Iran. The Iranians have also just recently said that a deal is closer than it has ever been. So we will continue to follow this and see if we get more news and see just how close we may be to an actual.
So close.
Thank you, Santa. All right, we want to get you up to speed right away with some breaking news out of the United States. The president, Donald Trump, has posted on his Truth Social platform. He is criticizing the Iranian media's reporting of this potential agreement that he announced between the U.S.
Okay, maybe it's not. God damn it. Oh, brother. Oh, God damn it, dude. I thought this was it. You know? This time it's. So is it happening or not is a question that many of you have, and I've been obviously joking around, but let's take a look at the only side that actually gives us real, reliable information. And yes, that is certainly not the American side. It's not the Israeli side. It's the Iranian side. J.D. Vance responds, but let's hear what the Iranian side said. Iranian Foreign Minister Sayed Abbas Araghchi says on the MOU, a memorandum of understanding has never been closer, calls on media to refrain from speculating on details. Sayed Abbas Araghchi actually does confirm the deal is close. The Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding has never been closer. Pending its finalization, the media should refrain from entering speculation about its content. In line with our responsible and transparent approach, all details will be shared with the public in due course. Now, just so you understand, this is new. Abbas Araghchi has, what is this? Response. Millionaire Hassan Piker, Nepo baby to a family of Turkish billionaires who made their fortune off the Armenian genocide and charging rent as landlords, complains about paying $6,500 for a luxury seat at a luxury sporting event and not getting a shout out by the NBA. Shocking. No, this is real. All of this happened. What can I respond to? Yeah, no, it's real. My father, my father's father, me, we are all billionaires. I'm a billionaire. Yeah. Our whole family. And we made the billions off of the Armenian genocide, specifically. I don't ask how one can make billions off the Armenian genocide. Just go along with it, you know? Yeah, it's true. And yes, I did complain a lot about the luxury sporting event that I went to. And the only number that they got wrong is I actually sat courtside. I lied. I sat courtside. I paid $200,000 for a ticket, which to me is like basically $1 because I'm a multi-billionaire. And yeah, all of this is true. He got me. He got my ass. Yeah. Bro, you got to say you're joking? Cockroach Man takes it literally? I mean, nah, so who gives a fuck, dude? Haven't you realized by now that these people don't understand sarcasm? Dude, come on. Come on. Yeah, Elon Musk is not the first trillionaire. I am. People don't know. The secret's out, guys. Beast mode. Yeah. Is that tweet satire? No, I think that person sincerely is trying to, I don't know, do the weirdest version of defamation you possibly could do. Whenever Reddit goes down, I come in here and ask, hey, bro, did you see Reddit is down? I don't know. Yeah. Nobody knows that Tom Steyer's actually your dad? No, I'm his dad, actually. That's why he has $1 billion. I gave him a cool bill. I have so many billions that I gave Tom Steyer just for fun. 1 billion. I was like, I forgot about it already. That's right. Gave him a crumb of my billies. Anyway, meanwhile, JD Vance, while Arakshi is talking about a memorandum of understanding actually being close, which is important. This is new, right? Even then, it doesn't really matter, though, because once again, Israel might have a difference in opinion here. So regardless of how close the memorandum of understanding is to being finalized on the American side, on the Iranian side, have you forgot to ask the most important, the most pivotal side? Israel? Seems like you forgot to ask them for consent. Which means deal's not finalized, like I said, until the ink is dried and the American troops, the American naval assets are moving in the opposite direction that they're moving in. I'll believe it when I see it. However, J.D. Vance strikes a very diplomatic tone and is clearly preparing a narrative on unfreezing of Iranian funds, which Trump has repeatedly claimed he would not do. And on other terms, he said, I'm seeing a lot of fake information about a potential deal to reopen the strait and end Iran's nuclear weapons program. First, the Iranians are not receiving any cash, and no funds are being released for simply signing a deal or attending a meeting. The deal is structured to ensure that the U.S. and its allies' concerns are prioritized. Ooh, this is good stuff. If you recall, there were teases upon teases throughout this process where Trump would signal to what he would want out of this deal and what he would be comfortable giving away. This was one of those things. He rarely ever mentioned the cash, the assets being unfrozen. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of paperwork, legalese, justifications that makes it seem as though we're not giving pallets of cash directly to Iran, which is one of the things that Trump railed on Obama and even Joe Biden over. So we shall see. But obviously, no matter which way you cut it, it is still the same ordeal, right? I've noticed a couple of bizarre things in the reporting over the last few hours. First, people who rightly said Donald Trump was a historic president a month ago now criticizing a deal based on unconfirmed media reports. Second, people who say you can't trust a word said by the IRGC who apparently believe anonymously sourced social media posts. The president is going to get us a good outcome one way or another. Yeah, the whiny groiper is back. These two almost simultaneous tweets should be read together in order to better understand what's going on. But is there someone you forgot to ask? The real president of the United States of America comes in, Benjamin Netanyahu. As long as I am Prime Minister of Israel, Iran will not have nuclear weapons. There is full agreement between me and the president, the fake president, President Trump, on this issue. For over 30 years, I have been at the forefront of the international campaign against Iran's nuclear program. Had it not been for this campaign, Iran would long ago have an atomic bomb to destroy Israel. Iran is working to destroy the Jewish state, and I dedicate my life to preventing them from doing so. As long as I'm Prime Minister of Israel, this will not happen. You know this is a Hebrew tweet, translated from Hebrew to English, because he talks about how Iran's goal, first and foremost, is to destroy Israel. And I feel like in the English-speaking world, if he were to release this, people would probably have a very different attitude on it. They'd be like, damn, I didn't know. God damn, bro. Big Yahoo moving. Politico reports from 4 minutes ago, deal with Iran is near, but not final, senior U.S. official says. All right, these are good events. These are good events.
And Iran. So I'm going to read you the tweet, the True Social post that he has put out. He said this: the terms that Iran leaked out to the fake news have nothing to do with the terms that were agreed to in writing. What they said, including their weak and pathetic statement on having a deal, bears no relation to the truth. Very dishonorable people to deal with. With them, there is no such thing as dealing in good faith. Amazing. Also, their totally rebuffed drone attack last night against Indian ships leaving the Hormuz Strait is totally unacceptable. They better get their act together and fast. So remember, President Trump had previously called off strikes against Iran last night and said that there was this deal that was going to be signed imminently, perhaps even as early as this weekend. He was looking to dispatch the vice president, J.D. Vance, for some kind of a signing ceremony. We then got details from the Iranian media on what exactly this deal may entail. And it includes, I'm going to list them off for you, on the nuclear file, no new agreement regarding Iran's nuclear program. And Iran will not make any new commitments. They say that on the Strait of Hormuz, again, this is Iranian state media reporting, that they make no commitment to relinquish control over the Strait of Hormuz. When it comes to ending the war, they said that the U.S. committed to ending the Israeli regime's war in Lebanon. They calls for an end to the war. And when it comes to frozen assets, the Iranians are also saying that part of the funds that are being frozen will be released immediately. So there is a lot to sort out here as to what's what and where this leaves the status of the deal. But we are going to try to sort through all of this. We're going to do a quick swap over. My colleague Imran Khan will be here in just about 2 minutes from now. Stay tuned.
After saying there was a deal, President Trump is now lashing out at Iran. In a Truth Social post that appeared just a few moments ago, he called Tehran, and I'm quoting him now, dishonorable for what he's calling inaccurate descriptions of a proposed agreement. He also said they better get their act together and they better do so fast. Let's go to CNN's Kristen Holmes over at the White House. Kristen, what else is the president saying this morning? It's all very dramatic.
Yeah, and Wolf, we're going to get to what he's saying in a second, but I do want to explain how we got here and what it is that he is referring to, because we had gotten a readout of this memorandum of understanding from a diplomat who had been briefed on what was in this document, and some of the key points were this: that it would be a 60-day ceasefire that would include everything, Lebanon included, that the Strait of Hormuz would be opened immediately, and that pre-war levels of traffic would begin again within 30 days, that the U.S. blockade of ports and some Iranian sanctions would all open up as part of this deal, and that it satisfies all the U.S. requirements on the nuclear issue. So that is what we had been reporting. Then we had Iran come out, state media, and give their version of the deal, which looks significantly different. And there are a couple of points in there that are likely to make President Trump angry. One of them, they would not commit to ceding control over the Strait of Hormuz. And the other is that frozen funds, these frozen assets that have been a point of contention for President Trump, they say, Iranian state media, and of course, keep in mind the source here, that the agreement would demand the release of $24 billion in those frozen funds. So now you have President Trump reacting to this, essentially saying that the terms that Iran leaked to the fake news media have nothing to do with the terms that were agreed to in writing. What they said, including their weak, pathetic statement on having a deal, bears no relation to the truth. And with them, there is no such thing as dealing in good faith. I assume what he's talking about when he talks about their weak and pathetic statement on the deal is the fact that we had heard that the response to the deal, or the response to President Trump, was that the text still requires review and finalization. They have been saying that it has not been signed off on. President Trump, of course, saying that everybody was in agreement. So that is what is happening now. And again, we've been down this path before. President Trump says a deal is imminent, and then we see a situation like this where one of the sides starts to backpedal and it all falls through. So we'll see what's going to happen now. U.S. officials are still cautiously optimistic.
We shall see. All right, Kristen Holmes over at the White House for us. Thank you very much, Pamela.
All right, Wolf, let's continue this conversation with CNN political and global affairs analyst Barack
Oh,
Obama,
hell
who's
yeah.
also the global affairs correspondent.
Hell yeah. Barack, Unit 8200, Ravid. Very good. Very, very good. A deal is imminent. As I have said 39 times, it is not because of market close. Once again, Donald Trump is ending wars. What is this? You're washed, bro? 46,000 people are watching this. Oh my God. Liberalism, man. Liberalism. No deal is coming. They're just going to attack Iran this weekend. Another smokescreen. Who knows?
Correspondent for Axios. What do you make of this development with President Trump going from they've reached a great settlement to now saying Iran needs to get its act together because of what the state media there is reporting, which is different from what the U.S. has said?
Yes, I think what the U.S. has been told by the Qatari mediators and the Pakistani mediators and the Iranian negotiators themselves yesterday was that they're basically ready to sign. That was the message that the White House got. And preparation started for a possible signing ceremony during the weekend. For example, 4 U.S. Air Force C-17 planes left Washington yesterday to Europe as an advance for possible trip by Vice President Vance to Geneva to sign this agreement with the Speaker of the Iranian Parliament, Muhammad Bakr Kalibaf. But I think what happened in the recent hours is what happened several times during those negotiations, that every time when the parties were close to a deal, each side wanted to market the deal to its own domestic audience. And when you do that, then each side obviously gives the deal its own spin, emphasizes the things that it's going to get and downplays the things that it's going to give. And I think that's, again, what happened today when the Iranian presented their narrative or their spin on what has been agreed, and President Trump pushed back and presented him and White House officials presented their narrative about what has been agreed. And I think it's not totally different, but I think each side just emphasizes what it is getting from a deal and not really talking about what it is giving in this deal.
Because Barack, when I woke up this
Trump lies that before he came around, you had to go to Japan to get Maine lobster.
But you have never had. And again, in Maine, I opened it up. You know who was fishing there? Canada. Japan was fishing there. Maine lobster. You couldn't get a Maine lobster. You had to go to Japan to get a Maine lobster. You believe it?
True. True fact stated, man. Yeah. Famously, not a lot of lobsters in Maine. Not a lot of Maine lobsters in Maine. Primarily in Japan. That's where the main lobsters are. All right, let's get back to this.
And saw everything that was happening overnight. It looked like there was going to be a deal that included a 60-day ceasefire, including other stops, including a ceasefire involving Israeli strikes on Hezbollah targets in Lebanon as well. But now,
I mean, dude, I've literally told you frame one how this was going to go. I'm almost certain. I have no idea what the final deal is going to look like. I haven't seen anything new, but it is going to closely resemble the initial 10-point agreement that Iran sent to the American side on week 2. Okay? Because the back and forth and the minutia, the back and forth on the minutia of the memorandum of understanding are secondary to who's actually fucking winning the war. The side that is capable of dealing damage, serious economic damage and dealing a lot of damage to the American military confidence and might has been Iran. And of course, that is precisely the reason why, regardless of whichever way they cut this, however they claim they've secured a victory here, unless Israel intervenes somehow again, and then there is no deal. If there is a deal at all, it will look a lot like the Iranian points that we've known about since the second week of Operation Epic Fury, Operation Epstein's Fury.
Now it looks like this whole thing potentially could collapse. Do you think potentially, God forbid, that
this motherfucker's Turkish and still says Iran wrong? We say Iran. In Turkey, we say Iran. Iran. Iran is closer to how you say it.
the region now, the U.S., Israel, and Iran are on the verge of an all-out war?
I'm not sure because I think even though President Trump ordered new strikes in recent days, all of them were still below the threshold of an all-out war. I'm not saying it can't happen. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu definitely wants this war to resume because he doesn't believe the Iranians and he thinks that the regime needs to be weakened even more. But I think that at least at the moment, even though Trump just, posted this very angry response to the Iranians, my sense from talking to people that are involved in the negotiations on the U.S. side is that they still want to see if they can get to sign this agreement over the weekend. I still hear the same thing from the different mediators. So it might all collapse. We might seeing that at the moment how this thing is collapsing, but it might be, one of those hiccups that you have before you get to a deal.
Yeah, yesterday, President Trump was threatening to launch U.S. troops to take over Iran's critically important Karg Island. That sounds like that would be a major escalation in this war right there. And a source is telling CNN, by the way, Barak, that the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu wasn't aware of an agreement with Iran, and that.
Dog, how many times have we heard this? How many times are we going to play this song and dance, dude? Benjamin Netanyahu was not aware that a deal was taking place. Oh, oops, we just hit the button where we bomb Beirut and kill a bunch of civilians right after this, right after the deal comes out that is supposedly imminent. I mean, we have a number. It's 39, about to be 40. So who knows? Maybe this is the time. Maybe now is the time. Maybe now this deal will be finalized. Economy is 1 week away from crashing. Oil CEOs visited Donald Trump. Maybe the oil CEOs should visit Benjamin Netanyahu, the real fucking president. They should just cut out the middleman, dude. Go to the big boss. Clearly, he's running the fucking show. Go to him. Tell him, Mr. President, please, Mr. Big Yahoo, please. Enough is enough. Like, sure, we've benefited from this crisis, but we are literally running out of supply. Also, it's really funny to compare, what CNN will potentially look like after Barry Weiss takes over the editorial team to what it looks like right now, pre-Barry Weiss's takeover. You have a literal IDF Unit 8200 guy, Barak Ravid, talking to the former spokesperson for AIPAC, Wolf Blitzer. And this is probably the most favorable coverage that you will get from CNN. Like, this is literally the most, like, honest. Doesn't mean it's actually honest, but it's actually the closest to honest coverage.
Remarkably, he learned of it only from social media. What does that say to you about the Trump-Netanyahu alliance, at least right now?
So first about Carg Island, I have to say, I find it, at least at the moment, things change all the time and very quickly. I do not sense that there's either an appetite or a real operational plan, imminent operational plan to do anything on Carg Island. I have no information that shows that this is where Trump really wanted to go. And it is true that Netanyahu learned about Trump's post yesterday announcing that there's a deal from social media when he was sitting with his security chief and one of his advisors came into the room and told them that while they were discussing about what are the potential U.S. strikes that were going to happen several hours later, all of a sudden one of his advisors came in and said, well, there are no strikes. There's actually a deal, according to what President Trump just posted. And the U.S. did not notify Netanyahu in advance of this post. And I think that in the phone call, from what I heard from U.S. officials about a phone call Netanyahu and Trump had several hours later, Netanyahu was very, he sort of told the president that, he understands that there is a deal and there's nothing he could do. I'm sure that if Prime Minister Netanyahu read President Trump's post from a few minutes ago, his mood improved significantly.
Yeah, certainly did. All right, Barak Ravid, thank you very, very much.
After 105 days of President Trump's 4 to 6 week war in Iran, are we finally close?
Smart move. Lie to Israel while we make a deal. You don't have to lie to Israel. You can just tell Israel to shut the fuck up. What? I don't know if you remember me or not, but you spent 30 minutes having your followers look up 10-year-old pictures of me because I cooked you and told you to quit wasting your time on the election because it was already over and that you're a small shrimp motherfucker and you started crying and whining like a gay. Unban this guy. Untiming out this guy, Fossabot. Bad bot. Either way, if not, just wanted to remind you I was right about the election and about you being a small, soft gay. Hope you get locked up / deported. Have a great night. Thank you, Cole Roberts. Shocker, Democrats, gay boy lying. I don't think this happened. I was fucking pussy since I was in 7th grade on God. I lost my V card at 13, dog. Oh my God, this guy's awesome. I can send it to you. Send what? Picture of your meat? No thanks. I'm good. I remember this loser. I have forgotten. He was so unremarkable. I forgot about this loser. But seems like a cool guy that has many friends though. Only cool guys talk like this. Yeah, dude, I've been slamming puss since I was 13. You're freaking soft and gay, dude. You're a gay soft guy. You're a gay guy, dude. I've been fucking mad puss, dude. I've been crushing mad puss since I was like 7 years old, actually, dude. Fuck you, dude. Sick. Cool, man. You're fucking awesome.
closing in on a peace deal. Well, despite President Trump claiming some fairly positive rhetoric, there are 4 significant risks to making progress here, not least of which President Trump's threats to seize Carg Island, which would be a massive escalation. Secondly, the crossing the Strait of Hormuz, reports of 2 drones attacking is clearly a tinderbox. Prime Minister Netanyahu claims that his war with Hezbollah is outside the deal. And finally, is the peace deal actually going to deliver the results that we expect? Let's take those in turn. First of all, President Trump's threat to seize Carg Island and other oil infrastructure for Iran. This would mark a major escalation. It would require boots on the ground, and that would be a major risk for US servicemen on the ground in the region, and would also risk extending and prolonging the war significantly. But within hours of issuing that threat, President Trump took it off the table. Why did he issue such a major threat? Well, in the past, he has used threats to try to coerce Iran into making some sort of compromises, but it also sometimes it just expresses the frustration that President Trump has with the process. What is clear is President Trump's predictable unpredictability does risk compromising the peace process. Another area of concern that could unseat the process is the Strait of Hormuz. Reports last night that 2 drones were intercepted en route to targeting some commercial vessels in the strait. What Central Command has admitted is that US vessels are escorting, the US Navy is escorting commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz in direct defiance with Iran's declared area of oversight here. That's almost certainly provoking Iran to firing drones. And this is all about who controls the Strait of Hormuz, with both sides trying to demonstrate that they do so. But the reality is that even though Central Command claims that hundreds of commercial vessels have been moved through the straits over the last few weeks, the reality is that's significantly below the routine level of movements that are required to be sustainable. So that's not a sustainable model. In addition, there are grave risks every time you start firing weapons in the region, particularly if we end up with any US casualties. Another issue, the third issue that could risk compromising this, is Prime Minister Netanyahu's claim that actually the war against Hezbollah is not included in the core deal. What is interesting, Prime Minister Netanyahu piled praise on President Trump for achieving his war objectives of actually curtailing Tehran's nuclear program, for reducing their stockpiles of ballistic missiles, and also stopping Iran threatening its neighbors. But also, very quickly after that, Netanyahu said that the deal did not include his war against Hezbollah. What is clear is Prime Minister Netanyahu has got his own agenda in this war and sees this as a once-in-a-generational opportunity to deal with Hamas, but also Hezbollah. In the past, the way they've dealt with that is they've created a buffer zone by moving, invading southern Lebanon and actually pushing Hezbollah north. But it does appear likely, as of this occasion, they could be looking to move even further north. But it is worth remembering that Iran has made very clear that any deal with America had to include Hezbollah. And you'll recall that it wasn't that long ago that Iran pulled out of talks with America when the IDF started attacking Hezbollah very close to Beirut. And finally, there's the deal itself. Are we actually inching towards some sort of final deal on the Straits? It is worth remembering that any deal is actually nothing more at this stage than a memorandum of understanding, a one-pager that provides a framework within future talks can be run. What is clear is that fairly early on, they do want to get the Strait of Hormuz open. I mean, both parties want that, and that will create a massive relief in the international community because it should mark the end of the global energy crisis. The challenge, of course, is what price is America prepared to pay for that? There is a talk about easing of sanctions, potentially unfreezing some Iranian assets as well. But regardless, there is going to be a price to pay. It is remembering as well that the Strait of Hormuz wasn't an issue before the war. It was only closed as a result of the American action. Therefore, any deal on the Strait simply returns it to its pre-war status quo. The challenge, of course, is that this doesn't seem to make much progress on the nuclear question. In fact, the 2 core issues that are causing concern, one of which is Israel's war with Hezbollah. Is that included in the deal? If it is, then it's going to be a real test of President Trump's influence over Prime Minister Netanyahu, or indeed his control. But the second one is, how's that nuclear question going to be resolved? Well, the challenge is that this one-pager will not actually stop Tehran developing nuclear weapons, and yet that was one of the sole aims of the American military action. What is...
Do these guys never get tired of doing the same analysis? No, and we never get tired of hearing it.
Elon.
All right, it's close. Seems it's close. Democracy Now! Covered your rally. Nice. Hassan Piker joins New York DSA rally ahead of New York primaries. is because, I mean, this is the tip of the spear of the socialist movement right now. There are a lot of incredible candidates out here that are really pushing the needle and expressing radical politics that has unfortunately been forgotten in American politics, but there's a real appetite for this. And I want to make sure that I can do everything in my power to get them to win these seats, get them to win these elections, and not only advance this bold agenda that puts the working class first over corporate interests, but then also charts a better path forward for American politics in general. The reason why I came to New York...
Working class people are being crushed right now. Billionaires and bosses are running our lives and stealing our wages, stealing our time, and working class people need to fight back. Zoran's campaign last year turned out 100,000...
Your purple hat rip? No, I have the black hat. Purple hat's gone, though. This peace deal will close until... This peace deal will be closed until market close. Yeah. Yeah, Jeremy Scale talked about this on Chapo, too. He said that the Iranian guys... The Iranian negotiation team added senior psychologists to review draft communications to Trump because they legitimately believe Trump is suffering from mental illness. And they're not the only country. They're not the only country that's like worried about Trump's cognitive capabilities. These are the reported full details of the deal as reported by Iranian media. New details of a 14-point draft plan from Iran-U.S. memorandum. This is what Trump said was leaked, and he was very mad about it, which I suspect is probably the closest you're going to get to the truth, maybe. I don't know. New deals of the 14-point draft plan. Immediate and permanent ceasefire on all fronts, including Lebanon. U.S. commitment not to interfere in Iran's internal affairs and to respect Iran's sovereignty. Full lifting of the naval blockade within 30 days. U.S. commitment to withdraw its forces from areas surrounding Iran. Reopening the Strait of Hormuz within 30 days under Iranian arrangements. Suspension of sanctions on Iranian oil, petrochemicals, and related exports with full access to the resulting revenues. U.S. and its allies to provide reconstruction plans for Iran worth at least $300 billion. 60-day negotiation period to reach a final agreement on nuclear issues and the complete removal of U.S. primary and secondary sanctions, as well as related UN Security Council and International Atomic Energy Agency measures. Iran reaffirms its NPT commitment to not develop nuclear weapons. During the negotiations, the U.S. will not deploy additional forces to the region or impose new sanctions. Release of $24 billion in frozen Iranian assets during the 60-day negotiation period, with half made available before talks begin. Establishment of a monitoring mechanism to oversee implementation of the agreement. I mean, this is literally everything that they wanted. This is what they've been publicly demanding. So, with the very little changes to the initial demands being made. Why are you talking about this like it's going to happen? I mean, it's going to happen one day. It's just a matter of how much damage does the rest of the world have to endure before it happens. Only if we can get Israel to stop committing genocide in Gaza, for fuck's sake. I don't know what the full scope will look like, but if America is forced to restrain Israel in Lebanon, then that yields additional benefits. I can't trust you after Ukraine. Okay, man, you get it wrong one time. I'm far more restrained nowadays with predictions, especially that pertain to insane aging despots. Okay, they get active. Okay, and they move in unpredictable ways. Iraq, she says, control of the Strait of Hormuz rests with Iran and Oman. There's no international waterway there. He said Iran and Oman have provided security and operational services to vessels for years free of charge, but management of the strait will not return to how it was before the war. Arakshi added that consultations have been held with Oman and a joint plan may be announced soon, including the future fees for services in the strait. Yeah. Trying to imagine a reaction from the GOP if Barack Obama had favorably retweeted Iranian Foreign Minister Zarif during the JCPOA negotiations. What a world we live in now. I mean, this is a only Trump can go to China moment, only Nixon can go to China moment, but this is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Any kind of posture that reaffirms a commitment to the ceasefire revolves around normalizing relations with Iran. It revolves around normalizing relations with Iranian leaders. So technically, yes, there is a double standard here, but it's one that benefits peace. You know? So the thing is, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. While I do recognize the double standard, I'll take it. Final agreement will be endorsed by a UN Security Council resolution. Reuters is moving ahead and reporting that the UAE is either unlocking or paying billions of dollars to Iran, including transfers up to $20 billion in an attempt to reset relations after the recent war. $3 billion has reportedly already been paid. Oh my God. That is... Straight up. God damn. God damn. They said Dubai, if you want the Dubai dream, the idea of Dubai to exist, to persist, then put the cash in the bag, little bro. Two regional sources told Reuters the UAE had agreed to the release of a total of $10 billion, more than $3 billion of which had already been delivered. Two other sources with knowledge of the arrangement put the total funds involved at $20 billion, adding that the move had been agreed in return for a halt to Iranian attacks on the United Arab Emirates. One of the sources with knowledge of the arrangement also said a first tranche of $3 billion had already been made available. Reuters could not establish whether the funds earmarked for the transfers belonged to the UAE or originated in long-blocked Iranian accounts in the UAE banking system or elsewhere. But a UAE official asked to comment on the transfer said the country was trying to ease tensions and foster peace. That's crazy. Apparently, years of delicate diplomatic negotiations and proposals for a concert of civilizations and so forth were less effective than firing hundreds of drones at Dubai. Yeah, seems to be the case. Because remember, like, people will obviously make it seem like, oh, Iran is so belligerent. They're such a crazy actor. They're so violent. They're so barbaric. Look at them. They only know one way to deal with people, and that's like through military intervention. And they're using their ballistic munitions. The reality of the matter is, Iran has always been in favor of a negotiated settlement, always in favor of diplomacy, perhaps to a fault. We saw what that diplomatic process looked like twice. We saw what Iran's previous practice of strategic restraint looked like with numerous acts of perfidy and death and destruction. Once they stopped playing the role of restrained actor in the region and went balls of the motherfucking wall, all of a sudden everyone is singing a very different tune. I don't think this should be the case. Iran is only violent towards its people. Yeah, buddy, I don't know. Dubai seems to be singing a very different tune. We're literally watching Iran act in a more militant manner towards regional actors that have, actively fomented their demise. Anyway, kind of feels like America found a way to route Iranian resources or, cash infusion to the Iranian economy without being directly involved. Let's see what Dennis Citrinowitz's analysis is. Atlantic Council's non-resident fellow. Off of what Gregory Brew, senior analyst for Eurasia Group, says, the UAE is releasing billions of dollars. This is what we were just previously looking at. It's the Reuters coverage on this issue. The UAE is releasing billions of dollars to Iran as a part of a deal to reduce bilateral tensions and assist with reopening the strait. It could be as much as $20 billion. $3 billion has already been delivered, confirming rumors from earlier this week. The move comes after the Emirates emerged as the single largest target for Iranian missiles and drones during the war, from confrontation to accommodation. Dennis Citrinowicz says the growing rapprochement between the UAE and Iran undermines a key assumption that has shaped much of the Israeli debate over the past year, namely the Gulf states would move closer to Israel, expand the Abraham Accords, or even support a more confrontational regional posture towards Tehran in the wake of the war. There was one guy who's not a professional analyst who doesn't work for any of these think tanks who said this early on in the conflict, even though many people didn't believe him. Who was that guy? Oh, that's right. It was me. I said this over and over again. And everyone was like, what are you talking about? You think these guys are going to fucking feel comfortable dealing with Iran diplomatically ever again? They're going to be advancing the death and destruction of Iran. They're going to be actively demanding the death and destruction of Iran, many people said, because they were watching CNN. And CNN kept repeatedly saying, oh my God, how fucking stupid. Oh my God, Iran, why are they attacking the Gulf? I told you this because I do talk to people in the Gulf. I do talk to people that live there who talk to other people. I talk to journalists, reporters, and analysts that live in the region who have direct access to more powerful players in the region. And I told you over and over again that the attitude that was being demonstrated in mainstream media, okay? And yes, Jeremy Scahill also said the same thing, and he also talks to people directly, not only just in the Gulf region, but certainly in Iran as well. Turns out we were right, and all the fucking hours poured into this analysis by CNN was wrong. How is that possible? It turns out that the Gulf monarchs looked at the situation and realized it's not so great to have American military bases when that doesn't actually come with real security assurances. As a matter of fact, it turns out when you have American military bases so close to a regional adversary that you have to live beside, that has shown its resilience, that has proven its resilience, that has proven its capabilities of establishing sufficient military deterrence, those American military bases simply turn your host nations into missile sponges, missile magnets. America is primarily invested in defending only one country, and even then they've done a piss poor job at that too. For the regional monarchs, if American defense doesn't actually have real American defense, and it's just simply they're simply playing a role in expending Iranian munitions that could be directed at Israel, but instead is now directed at the Gulf. Yeah, why the fuck would they take that deal? Why would they take that deal at all? That's a terrible deal for them. This comes after they've spent billions of dollars pumping up American companies in the interest of diversifying their portfolios. But we all know that it's not just about diversifying their portfolios, trying to figure out the next phase as the world moves away from fossil fuels. They were doing that as a bribe because they thought America would have their fucking backs. Anyway, let's see what else Danny says. In reality, many Gulf states are deeply frustrated with Israel. From their perspective, they were drawn into a regional crisis that imposed significant economic and security costs on them. Since the strikes on Qatar, many in the Gulf increasingly view Israel not as a source of stability, but a potential driver of regional escalation. As a result, there is little prospect of major new normalization steps with Israel absent dramatic progress on the Palestinian issue. Gulf leaders understand that the Iranian regime is not going anywhere, and they see no strategic benefit in trying to isolate Tehran or push it into a corner. This does not mean that Gulf states have become naive about Iran. They remain deeply aware of the challenges and threats posed by Tehran. However, their preferred strategy is de-escalation and coexistence rather than confrontation. From their perspective, maintaining channels of communication with Iran is a necessity, not a choice. Trita said today that the reason Israel got reclassified as a critical intelligence threat is because Trump actually cut Israel out of the negotiations. I don't know how much emphasis I'd put into that. But like I said, it was a pivotal point for our media to, for the first time ever, cover Israel as a threat openly. It's always been a threat. But the very fact that they're covering it as a threat, as it truly is an important difference in the coverage that we've seen from legacy publishers thus far. That doesn't happen unless something has shifted, as I said at the time, in my interpretation. Gregory Brew then follows up and says, this development undermines one of the core assumptions behind the Abraham Accords, that normalized relations between Israel and the conservative Arab states could facilitate a more effective containment of the Islamic Republic. Iran's actions and the response from the Arab world has turned this assumption on its head. Netanyahu is besides himself because he draws his strength from what he calls an agreement between him and Trump. He no longer mentions America in his speeches. All he talks about is Trump because he sees Trump as the architect of greater Israel. Sure. Mark Halperin is having a convo with some centrists, I guess, about what is this? Why did you guys send me this link? I'm not going to watch this. Yoav Galant, where is the uranium?
Musk's.
Anyway, SpaceX shatters Wall Street records as expected.
SpaceX starting to trade publicly this morning after an initial public offering that made Musk the world's first trillionaire. Elizabeth Schulze has those details for us. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, Rebecca. This is a record-shattering day on Wall Street. SpaceX becoming the most valuable company ever to go public, making its founder, Elon Musk, the world's first trillionaire. Musk's rocket company, valued in its initial public offering at around $1.8 trillion, that would immediately put it in the list of the most valuable companies in the world, alongside chipmaker NVIDIA, Apple, Google, Microsoft, and Amazon. In its IPO filing, SpaceX says its goals include establishing a permanent colony on Mars with 1 million people, launching AI data centers in space, mining asteroids. The company isn't turning a profit and acknowledges that these goals might not be.
You can say anything. You can say anything, dude. This man is on a fucking crack cocaine bender. Literally awesome bullshit. Money is fake. Everything that Elon Musk says is fake. And people don't give a fuck, dude.
Achievable, and some big name investors are skeptical, but major banks and also retail investors have been clamoring to own shares of SpaceX as a way to bet on Elon Musk. Now, keep in mind, there are new rules on stock exchanges that make it easier for public companies to be added to index funds. What that means, if you got a 401k or retirement account, you could very soon own SpaceX without even realizing it. George.
Yeah, Elizabeth, thanks very much.
Well, thank you, Gwen. Gwen Shotwell's been an incredible partner and was one of the first people to join the company. And so thank you, Gwen. Oh, she's in New York, of course. Where is she? Yeah, it is certainly hard to believe that a little company that started in a warehouse in El Segundo is now going public for with the largest IPO that ever. And let me tell you, if people had told me this was going to happen, I was like, man, you must be smoking some really good crack, because I think this company's going to fail.
Dude, meritocracy is a lie. Lying is OP. Okay? There is no greater evidence than the abject failure that is Elon Musk. A failure as a human, right? What the fuck? Did it F? Uh-oh. What happened? Are we back? It's not F'd on my end. Okay. Anyway. Meritocracy is a lie. Lying is OP, and money is fake. This story that we are watching unfold in front of us is a great example of all three of those classic HasanAbi tropes that I advance over and over again. Okay? Elon Musk is a fucking failure. And yet, in spite of his failures, because he lucked into a initial, because he happened to be at the right place at the right time, he has failed upwards with his endless wealth.